Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is that you're listening
or watching
this latest episode of TurfCast podcast with me, Joe Redmond, and my good friend Simon Townley. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Very well, thank you, sir. You?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Thank you for doing the watch on the other day. Just get that in there nice and early. Some decent numbers again, more than 3,000 on the Book of Face, the Facebook. Last time I checked, around 350 on YouTube. YouTube's far more difficult, always has been. But I'm happy with 300 sort of like numbers on YouTube. So thanks for that. How did the actual stream itself go? So we'll get into the game.
Yeah, I thought it went well. Obviously the game didn't probably go as well as the stream. To be honest, I think the stream went quite well.
Happy days. Full house as well, weren't it? Apart from me, yeah, Johnny, Kieran, and even Jared.
Even Jared got Jared to turn up today. I did the old famous thing. If you haven't watched the watch along with when I host it, I've done the £2 bet that I put on, where I ask every one of us to nominate something they think will happen in the game. Me and you nailed it, mate.
Every time me and you nail it. I'm sorry. And then for some reason, Kieran's the one that gives me grief. But yeah, this time I put something out there that was a little bit less.
No, he said that was cert.
Oh, fuck off, Kieran. Why don't you pick it then?
So Kieran and Johnny picked West. No, Kieran and Jared picked Westwood and Tarky to be booked, and Johnny picked.
Man with Chris Wood to score, weren't it?
Yeah, and Dwight picked McNeil to have a shot on target.
You mean Tate? Tate picked McNeil to have a shot on target. Yeah,
that's what I meant. To have a shot on target, which never happened and probably wouldn't have happened if he had all night to play. But unfortunately, the bet didn't come in. But there were 350 quid for a lucky winner, and somebody guessed the correct score, so they would have won.
Oh. So what are the rules then? When you do this bet, if it comes in, they have to share it and guess the correct score?
Yeah, I kind of changed it. I think the first week I did guess the first scorer. This time I said guess the correct score. Somebody put 1-2, and I think it was Matt Lawcock's missus. So she was fuming because he would have won if they'd have picked a normal bet.
There you go. So if Matt Lawcock's missus wants to have it out with anybody, then Kieran, Johnny, and Jared are your men. One thing we should do with that is you have to share it. So share the stream now.
No, sorry, yeah, that was a. If you haven't shared it and you put the correct score, you didn't win.
Right, cool. Because that's a very good way. Because obviously people are going to share it then, rather than me going, "Can you please share it, please? Can you please share it?" Speaking of which, if you're watching this on YouTube, give it a like, give it a subscribe, please share it. Just get all the housekeeping things in first. We are, of course, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, sponsored by Pitch Sports. Big shout out to Pitch. They've been loyal to us for quite a long time now. It is available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. And as I said many, many times, it is like a fan hub. So you go on there, you chat to fans of other clubs, you chat to fans of Burnley, you predict the lineups, you predict the scores and things like that, and even discuss things after the game. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, please do. I have just sent them my latest fan time video this morning. So if you are watching this now on Thursday or Friday on Facebook, pause it, go over to Pitch Sport, answer the question, come back. If you're watching this as a Patreon, then you could be watching this before Thursday. You could be watching this in just a couple of hours because it gets on the patreon.com website /TurfCast pretty much straight away. So you can wait until Thursday and then you can do it. Speaking of Patreons, this is a bit of a sort of like an exclusive for you guys. We are, of course, but we are now. We've got a new partnership, which is good to see. It's with Mystery Sports. You can see it at the bottom of your screen, and what it is there's these new boxes, right? They're taking the rage. Everyone's buying them. Everyone's talking about them. Instead of going to like classic football shirts or somewhere like that and buying a box. And buying a shirt, you can now buy these boxes. Now, it's like a certain amount of money for a box. Normally, it's still around 40 quid, but Mystery Sport are actually cheaper than that, which is good to see. And then you buy in a box and you can tick certain things on the websites about what shirt you don't want. For example, if I bought one, I don't want a Blackburn shirt, so you make sure that's ticked straight to it, or a Preston shirt, or pretty much any English team, really, apart from Burnley. But I've got all the Burnley shirts, so yeah, that one as well. But yeah, and that's what you do. So we now have a new thing, so you can get 10% off a Mystery Sports football shirt box with the code TurfCast. Just head to www.mysterysport.com to grab the deal. Now, we've actually got a shirt each. The part of the deal is we got ourselves a shirt each. So Simon's just going to get his now. There we go. So we've got a shirt each. And now I don't know what's in this.
I literally swear on my kid's life.
Simon doesn't know. Yeah, I also swear on my child's life. Simon doesn't know what's in his. So we're going to open it. We're going to unbox it live. I say live. We're going to unbox it on the VODCAST for you now on the podcast. If you're listening to this on your Alexa or just on the podcast, feel free to go over to YouTube now to give it a watch to see what we've got. We will obviously tell you what we've got, but I'm sure it will be a bit better if you watch it. Go on.
Do we have to wear the shirts for today if they fit?
I think you have to because you're not on brand. But then I don't know. Then you'd look. I'll tell you what. We'll I don't know.
I think we should. And if you don't, you have to donate 20 quid to somebody.
Okay. Yeah. Right. We'll do it.
Right.
Anything to get out of spending more money. Right. You're gonna go first.
But am I?
So you unbox. Yeah. I don't know why. I've just decided that you're gonna go first. Hold on a second before you do that, young sir. There we go. His big screen.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do it so you can all see it. Let me just move back a little bit. So, ready?
Yep.
Oh, something's falling out.
Oh, God.
I don't want to see before you guys see it. So I'm not looking. I'm just ripping the box. Apologies, mystery shirt. I've ripped your box. Right, I've opened it. You ready? I can't see. Oh.
Tilt it.
Oh.
Is that Seville?
It's a Seville. I love that.
Yes, Seville. That's a
large
good shirt, that. Yeah, don't worry. I got us both the right size. You tell them what size you want. They don't just send it extra
I thought
small.
we were going to get like an extra large youth fucking Madrid shirt.
No. You tell them. Obviously, you tell them what size you want. So yeah, what is it then? Sevilla any year away?
Genuinely, right, I'm not acting shocked for the podcast. I had no idea about this till I got it delivered yesterday. You get a little thing with the history of the shirt on it and the club.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
That's sick, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So what shirt actually is it? Is it tell you what year and stuff it is on it?
Shirt is 1920, so it's on the last years, but tells you a bit about the stadium, the capacity, when they started, and who the key players are, and then a bit of a history on the bottom. Happy days.
Well, now it's my turn then.
Yeah, go.
Now, I'm gonna do what you've done. Man's. I've opened mine as you were opening yours. I haven't looked. Are you looking, Simon? You're not even looking.
No, yeah.
Who's man? Oh,
is it Rangers?
No, I thought. You know what? I don't want to be that bothered with that. It is. FK Skupe. They're in the Macedonian First Football League. There you go.
Brilliant.
You know what? I'm not bothered about that's a shirt I'd have never bought ever. Well, Seville, I think I've owned a Seville shirt before, so I'm buzzing with that. Let's. There we go. He's took it out of the bag. That's cracking. That you've got a good one there. Let's have a look at this one then.
We're going for it. Oh, I'm going to get kicked off on live on air.
There we go. So mine, like I said, they are in the Macedonian First Football League, and this is this season's shirt actually. The stadium only holds 6,000. They were only founded in 2012. The manager is called Hasan Oza. I've probably pronounced that right. Incorrect, sorry. But yeah. That's good. I'll wear that at football on Sunday. Oh no, I won't. I'm not playing. I'm at work. Standard. But there we go. So yeah, I'll quickly get mine on. What do you feel about your shirt then?
Well, it's class, mate. I've actually quite enjoyed the thing of it, the mystery shirt. I'm a bit of a gambling man, so I get excited about not knowing what's going to happen. Yeah,
I did feel like it was a Rangers shirt at first, and I wouldn't have minded that.
No, I would have done.
If it was Celtic, I'd have been a little bit whoa. But Rangers, I wouldn't have minded it. But yeah, there we go. So I am now wearing the shirt of a Macedonian first league football team. Simon is now wearing a Sevilla shirt. So there we go. So like I said, it is at the bottom of your screen. If you want to get one of these boxes, that's my address. If you want to get one of these boxes, just head to the website at the bottom of your screen. Now we will put a link in the description on YouTube and on Facebook as well. Just mysterysport.com, and when you're sorting it all out, just use the code TurfCast and you'll get 10% off. I think it works out at, yeah, do. I think it works out at like $34.99, or it's meant to be $34.99. Like I said, it's a little bit cheaper, but with the 10% off, you'll get £3.49 off. So that's like just over 30 quid. So
well done,
that's well, it's not exact. It's there or thereabouts. It's not exact, but yeah, honestly, like I said, a lot of people have been talking about him recently, so I just thought we'd link up with somebody that does it, and yeah, I'm buzzing with that. I think we've got a good couple of pair of shirts there. But anyway, time to move on. We need to finally, we don't want to discuss it, but we're going to have to discuss it. I'll let you take the lead on this one, because obviously you did the watch along. I was working. I watched it on the telly behind me, but for the majority of the time, I'm looking this way and turning around, and every time something's happening, I'm just turning around and getting to grips with it. But obviously, we lost out to West Ham at home just a couple of days ago on Monday. What were your thoughts on the game?
I think the biggest disappointment for me of the game was that we actually went 1-0 up. I mean, what this Burnley this season is doing everything that we normally like renowned for doing, and we're doing the opposites. We're not holding on to leads. We're scoring goals and shipping in shitloads. They could have scored 3 or 4, could West Ham, if I'm honest with you. But we'll start from the beginning, I suppose. Chris Wood got his brilliant ball over the top. I think it was Wester. Ball over the top. Chris Wood makes something out of nothing. Drags it back. I don't know what their defender's doing. Rugby
it's Souček, isn't it?
Yeah. Rugby tackles him to the ground. I don't know who it were, actually. I think it was Diop, weren't it? No,
I think it's Souček. I've just watched it now. I've not watched the close-up, but...
And then that just clatters into him. Penalty, no arguments. VAR confirmed it a penalty. What a penalty it was. Chris Wood bagging.
He's so good at penalties. Yeah. He's so good at penalties.
His tally's going up and up and up this season, and hopefully gets another couple more before the end. So that was that. What did you think of the penalty? Happy with that?
Penalty all day. Yeah, I've just watched it now. They're just showing the replay. And the fact that it even goes to VAR, I don't understand how it's just such. I know everything's got to be checked these days. Yeah, it is Souček. I know everything's got to be checked these days, but yeah, for me, a penalty all day. And Fabianski is a good goalkeeper. I know it didn't really work out for him at previous clubs, but he's a very good goalkeeper, and he's gone the right way as well. And it's just such a good pen with so much power. That's where Woody's penalties are so good. He can just get so much power on them. The one I always remember is the one he scored against Wolves last year, that you can't get any more top bins than that one. It was like the 96th minute as well to make it 1-1. He is so good at penalties. And it's just another feather in his cap of things that he can do. And I'm glad that people are finally seeing it now. But it's always the same. He has to be scoring goals for people to actually praise him, whereas there's a lot more to his game than that. And he even gets an hand to it. I've just watched it again, and he gets a slight hand to it. There's just so much power on it that there's not what he can do.
No, great penalty. Then, obviously, that was the highlight of the game, really, for Burnley fans. After that, it kind of diminished. We had Lingard and spreading out one side. You had Benrahma on the other side. You had the Antonio powerhouse in front middle, and we just didn't know how to handle him, mate. I'm not going to lie.
No,
we struggled.
I think my sort of thoughts on the game as an entirety was they were just better than us. They are a better side with better players. We didn't necessarily do too much wrong. The defending does leave a little bit to the imagination, but again, we're playing against very good players with very good movement. Like you said, there's Lingard, he was class. Antonio obviously got both of the goals. He was class. He's so good as well, Antonio. He loves playing against us for whatever reason. But he can just barge past players like they're not there.
Their first goal came in on our left-hand side. I think they drove it down, laid it back, crossed in. Fantastic sort of finish.
Just watching really it now. It's a cut back, then a lay back, then a cross. Then the cross takes Tarky out of the game. Yeah. Antonio's power just bullies Loughton out of the way. Yeah, he's just so strong. It's not really.
It's just a mismatch, weren't it? If you'd have had Tarky on there, you might have had a battle, but it's a mismatch. There's no beating Antonio.
No, not when he's got the run on you like that. I'll just go back a little bit. He's got the run on Loughton as well, to be fair there. I know Loughton got a lot of criticism, and I understand some of it, but I think we'll go into that a little bit more later. A lot of it was harsh. But for me, I won't even say you've got to be stronger. I think if anything, maybe, like you say, just make sure that mismatch isn't there. A bit of better communication with your centre-backs or whatever reason, or get Tarky to drop back a little bit. So if that ball comes in at that angle, which he does, it's just taking Tarky out, then he can get to the ball before Antonio.
If you look at Tarky's reaction afterwards, he's looking at Louts, it's not my fault. You know what I mean? And Thierry Henry brought that to his attention on the Sky Sports. And the way the defender's looking at Louts is to say, like, I didn't know what else can I do. Do you know what I mean? And I think that they both look to say, like, it's just a good fucking pass. Just a good ball.
That ball just takes Tarky out of the game. Like, there's nothing. It's like you say. They were just good, they're better than us, and they had that quality that we didn't have in that final third. And I think that's a perfect example of that.
And then the second goal, while you watch it, Lawton gets a bit of a knock, so he's half getting back onto his feet.
Yeah.
And then I still don't see how much more we could have done, because Chris Wood's seen that there's a problem. He's gone darting.
Yeah, he's got back. Ben Mee's out of position, but that's because, like you said, Lawton's had a knock.
Yeah.
So Lawton's then sort of like slotted into Ben Mee's position.
Yeah.
But then Woody's seen the danger, so these then split Lawton and Tarker. We've just got so many people back behind the ball here, and in good positions. Like
9 times out of 10, you've done your job there.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say there is if Lawton's a little bit deeper, then he clears that ball. But you're not gonna anticipate the pass that easily. And he is level with he is level with Ben Mee as well. It's just again that pass is better than the first pass, by the way.
Yeah, it is. This is what annoys me though, because that got more criticism from a defensive part, but we've covered all bases. Everybody's covering each other. They're all looking out for each other. You know, you can't, and yet the pass is still that good that even if a defender puts a touch on it, there's a half a chance that's going in as well.
Yeah. The only criticism I'd have is a little bit of positioning from Lawton, but again, he's had a knock. And even though Woody's done the hard work, he's done the sprint back, he's darted back, but then he just sort of like, I think it's because the pass is in the position it's in, he sort of like flops to the floor. And then Antonio gets a dink to it.
Getting a touch on it, though.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's probably part of that as well. But if he's just a little bit like, I tell you what, if that was a defender or Woody was a defender, I think he'd be a bit more confident in himself and he'd just boot it away or try and head it away. If that were Ben Mee or Tarks, because it's Woody, I think he's a little bit half-arsed about it, and then it just goes in. I think it was going in anyway, to be fair to West Ham. But then we had more chances. Vidra. He does all the hard work, gets past, is it Diop? Yeah, then flicks it over Fabianski, then it's cleared off the line.
See, that one as well, that Vidra one. We could have scored that. That were a ball from Louts over the top. Great ball. Vidra kept it alive. And then got it on a plate for himself almost, and then just didn't put it in.
Yeah, unfortunate. It's good defending. Like, it never really fell for him. Like, the ball was bouncing, then he's like under a lot of pressure from Diop, and so he gets it over Diop, he gets it past Dawson. And then Fabianski's there, so the ball's still not settled, so he has to flick it over him. And then because he's flicked it so high, it gives Dawson a chance to get back. So again, no real criticism there for Vidra from me.
No, it's a difficult one, mate. But I want to go back to what you said at the beginning. We weren't at our best. We weren't at the races for some of the parts of that game. But West Ham are where they are for a reason, mate. And their power up front, I mean, defensively, I must admit, they did have frailties, and you could see that, and we could have capitalised maybe. I think
if we played as well as we did against Wolves, we'd have capitalised on that. However, I think because West Ham are so good going forward and they were so much better than us in the middle, we're not as high up the pitch as we were against Wolves because West Ham are forcing us back. That's the difference. That's why we didn't do the high press as well, because the opportunity wasn't there, because we were never really in that position in the pitch, and that was due to the tactics. Because I think one of the main criticisms I'd have is of Dash, to be honest, and I don't normally criticise Dash. I think Moisey just out-tacticked him. But having said that, not only did he out-tactic him, he has better players than him. As much as some Burnley players, fans won't want to admit it, they're just better players, and I think it was an all-round better performance, manager down to all the players, I think.
Sort of like going further on that, last week's podcast, I said, when we played Man United, we didn't get the rub of the green, a little deflection took the goal, and then that took us out of the game and then made it 3-1 because we had to push forward. Wolves, I mentioned last week, everything fell for us. Everything went right. It was all in our favour. We played the same game against United. This one, again, if J-Rod had got that goal, because he had an open goal at one point.
Yeah, I'm just watching that now. We've had the chance for a video he could have scored.
Yeah.
And then we've had the chance for Jay. Jay, not going to criticize. I think Jay's going to be a little bit rusty because he's not played for a bit, but minimum hit the target there. He's just not wrapped his foot around it, has he?
No. And this is what I'm going back to. The Wolves game, them chances all fell for us and we scored. And I don't know what the stats are for the Wolves game off the top of my head. I'll just have a quick look. But I guarantee you there won't have been many shots that we missed. Do you know what I mean? It was just one of them games where everything we did was right.
Like I said, I think with the Wolves game, we were just so high up the pitch. Yeah. Every chance fell to Woody. And it was just one of them, whereas today, some of the chances were falling to Vidra. Not that Vidra did anything wrong. And as we've just seen, the one that fell to Jay as well. Obviously, it's one of them. Like we've obviously gone through our chances because it's a Burnley podcast, but they could have added more. To be fair, as well. So I think on the balance of play, I think we deserve to get beat. But as I've said, my analysis is they were just better than us. We weren't as high up the pitch as we wanted to be, mainly because they were winning the battle in the midfield and then pushing us up the pitch with the likes of Lingard and stuff like that, running at us and Antonio as well. So no massive complaints from me. I still think we'll be okay. Fulham aren't going to win 4 games out of the last 5 or whatever. They've got 3 games out of the last 4. So it's just one of them. It's a shame, especially going 1-0 up, especially going 2-0 up against Southampton and 1-0 up against Newcastle. You just think of where we could be, but ultimately I think we'll be all right.
Well, I'm just looking at the stats, right? And obviously we mentioned about the criticisms, and BBC Sport have put there, when they did the out of 10 ratings. Yeah. And the highest ones were Port, me, Wester, Taylor, Lawton, and then after that it goes down into 4s. It's like Cork, McNeil, Tark. McNeil got 5.
I was going to say that just shows, apart from Westy, that we lost the battle in midfield.
And then if you just look at the stats, right, West Ham had 22 shots, and we're criticising the defence a lot, right, but they had 22 shots. Granted, only 4 of them got on target, but they don't class block shots as on target, do they?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? How many of them were actually stopped when they needed to be? And they only got 2 goals by 2 incredible crosses. It's easy to get deflated. They are, fighting for a Champions League. Probably won't get it. But they were just a good team with 2 great crosses and 2 good goals.
Yeah, I hope they do get it, to be honest.
I do.
If you look at their fixtures, it is quite favourable. I think they're playing some of the teams in and around us. And I think who they're fighting against, is it Chelsea? Chelsea have got a Champions League semi-final tonight and probably a final or potentially a final. So they're going to have a focus on that. I hope Chelsea get through to the final as well, to be honest. But that's a different thing.
All-English final will be class.
Yeah, 2 All-English finals will be class. But Arsenal are going to let us down like they always do. But yeah, so I hope they get it. They've got a good chance of getting it. But yeah, I agree with you. It's easy to get deflated. It's easy to start criticising and going over the top on Twitter like a lot of people did. But I think we just need to... Yeah, we'll get into that. I think
a nominee for Player of the Season, which is obviously, I know it's come up now, but he's been so good this season, and to see how that was
this was my point. Like, this is why I put the tweet. Someone put a tweet up, and I didn't want to put a tweet up myself because I knew that everyone would be on you straight away. So I can't be arsed with it, especially in the heat of the moment of when you're getting beat. But some of the tweets, not just Lawton. Some of the tweets aimed towards Lawton were a disgrace. So, like memes flying around of, like the where's Wally and where's Lawton and stuff. Like, he didn't have the best game. I'll admit that. But he didn't. But I wouldn't say he was horrific, like some people are saying. I just think the West Ham players were better than him. Like, the West Ham attackers were better than he were at defending. And I think there's a reason for that. They spent a lot of money and they are where they are in the league. But some of the stick that he got on Twitter were disgraceful. I think even if he had a bad game, he's earned a bad game this season because he's been class. He's been absolutely fantastic.
That there's no favouritism involved. Like, I obviously cut Tarky there as well, but Tarky was no better than Lawton that game. But nothing was said.
If anything, I think Lawton were better than Tarky. I think Tarky looked a little bit.
Statistically, he was on the stats.
I think Tarky looked a little bit not disinterested because I hate like using that word. I just think he probably looked that. I'm not saying he was that, but I think he looked a little bit disinterested. I just think maybe the game passed Tarky by a little bit much. I think there was too much movement for him. And I think he struggled to sort of like cope with some of the movement of some of the players. But yeah, I think Cork. I'd say Corky had a poor game, but I just think the midfield bypassed him again. Like, this is the debate we have about Corky, Brownhill, and Wester. That game I think would have been suited better for Brownhill, because if we're on the front foot and we're pressing high at the pitch, then Corky's your man. If we're a team where we're going to get overrun in midfield, I think Brownhill's more likely to be better. But yeah, going back to the original point, the counter argument is, we're allowed to be annoyed when we get beat. Of course you are. I'm not saying you're not. I was annoyed myself. I even put a tweet up saying like, any chance of some defending? But you need to, in my opinion, channel it in certain ways. Like, you don't need to single out certain players unless they have an absolute stinker, which I don't think any of them really did. They just got outclassed by a better team. And I think sometimes you just need to stand up and go, you're better than us, boys. It's as simple as that. And I think that was the case for me this week.
Fair play, mate. Can't talk that. You've nailed it there.
Fair enough. Anything else you want to add to the game then? Obviously, Antonio had a shot late on. Benrahma played well, didn't he? He's a good player, that Benrahma.
Yeah, good player. He's a 20 million bargain, mate.
Yeah, well, it's a similar sort of vibe, isn't it? That's why we can't bar these sort of players these days in the Championship, because you got your West Downs buying Ben Rama, you got your Villas buying like who were it, Cash and Watkins. They're just blowing us out of the water. So unfortunately, we can't do that anymore.
There's 2 players in that West Ham squad that we were after. That just shows the strength that they have in them in the financials. Because we wanted Dawson at one point. I believe that the Dash
wanted Borden as well. Apparently,
we wanted Borden. Jared. So, wanted Elvis.
Bowen,
so no, yeah. It was. It is deflating because they have got a magnitude compared to us in the financial department, and I would say, they are a bigger club in some respects because just of where they are location wise, not league table.
Yeah, I think they are a bigger club than us. Yeah, but obviously that's a different debate. But what are your thoughts on rest of? Oh, get rid of that. What are your thoughts on rest of Premier League then? Rest of Premier League season, because of course now it's still 9 points, which for me I think is is fine. Yeah, but I've noticed a bit of a panic again. That's the problem. Some people are panicking. I saw one tweet saying like some of these players are playing like they're already safe, and I just wanted to respond and be like, they are, mate. Just because they're not mathematically safe doesn't mean they are not safe. They are safe. I'm just going to get the league table up for you now. There we go. That's what I meant to do earlier, so apologies if you saw something else. But there you go. We're on 36 points in 16th. Fulham, 34 games, same as us, 27 points. So that's 9 points behind us. So Fulham have got 4 games left this season because they played 34. Of course, played 38. They've won 5 games all season. So you're telling me in the 4 games that they've got left to play, admittedly they've got Burnley and Newcastle, but in the 4 games that they've got left to play, they are going to win, 3 of them, 80% of them, out of nowhere. What's suggesting that this form's going to come out of? They've not even done that well recently. They had the win recently against Arsenal, but I think that was the first win in 5. There's nothing to suggest to me that we will go down or even be anywhere close. If anything, I think the gap will get bigger. I think it'll be like 12 points by the end of it between us and Fulham. Are you on mute?
Yeah, we said it last week that it was just don't lose that game and you've done it. Job done. But it's still the same. Even if we lose all the games and draw Fulham, you're up anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, because obviously then Fulham will only have 3 games left and it'll be 10 points. So if we draw against Fulham this weekend, we are mathematically there. But I'm still, even if we got beat against Sheffield United on last day of season, there'd be a meltdown because that's what people do. But yeah, you go on all the Facebook groups. Obviously, I'm in all the Facebook groups as well to share TurfCast and things like that. And I just think fans just need to relax. And I know that's a bit rich. Simon, I know that's a bit rich, me saying that. But if I'm sitting here and saying relax, that just shows how bad you're being. If we lost the first game of the season against West Ham, I'd be a little bit more concerned. Because of the position that we are in and the result we just had against Wolves, sometimes you just got to take a breath and be like, we're not going to go down. It's not the end of the world. Relax, stop shouting, stop being personal on Twitter towards footballers just because they're a footballer and, he didn't mark, a brick shithouse properly. I just feel like sometimes you need to take a step back and just stop. I'll be the first person to criticise someone if I feel they need criticising, by the way. I just feel like sometimes in certain situations, it doesn't need to be done. There we go. Anyway, that's it for the West Ham review. Obviously, next up, as we've just mentioned, is Fulham. So we get a point there, and we should be okay. So what are your thoughts on the upcoming game against Fulham, Simon? Because I'm looking at that one and thinking that we can get a win. We've been to Wolves, we've got a win. Wolves, all right, they were on the beach, let's be fair, and they have had injuries. And Fulham will be fighting for their lives is a term, but I think even Fulham, though, they're down. Scott Parker can sit there in his flashy coats and his Cockney accent as much as he wants and say, we aren't, we're still fighting and all that stuff. The end players will know that this is pretty much an impossible task. So I think they'll feel deflated. And even if they don't look deflated in this game, they know that they have to get a point. So then the pressure's on. So that brings a different sort of thing that they could do if they are a little bit more up for it. But what are your thoughts on this upcoming game?
Difficult game in terms of exactly what you just said. Like we use this phrase a lot, but there's a different fight in the animal when it's when it's under pressure like it is right now, and they might turn up more so than they have done. I mean, the proof's in recent results with all the teams in the bottom three. They're all sort of picking up results now that they have to. Look at Championship, for example. That bottom four now is manic, and 10 games ago, you'd already decided 2 of them were down. So it is a different thing when you're at the bottom of the table and you're fighting for the lives. All of a sudden, you go an extra gear, we'll say. So I do think for that reason, it's a scary game, because the West Ham game is the same thing for me. They're fighting for something, and that's the difference at the moment.
Yeah, that's just going back to that. That's another thing I didn't mention. They wanted it more, West Ham, because they had something to actually fight for. We are, in my opinion, safe. So I do get that, but I don't know. I think the other flip side of it is they will probably think that they are down. I think they're down just because it's 9 points and there's 4 games left, so they have to literally win 3 of them. All right, like I said, one of them's against us and one of them's against Newcastle. But I think they also have Man United to play, and I can't remember the other one. I think it's Southampton. So people are looking at it, they're going, "Oh, they can win them," but they've also lost to Wolves recently, and we absolutely murdered them. They've lost a lot of games recently against poor sides. They had that good result against Liverpool. We've all won there. They've had a good result against Arsenal, but in between them games, it were like poor runs and things like that. So there's nothing to suggest to me that has me looking over my shoulder and being scared that Fulham could potentially catch us.
No, I don't. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm just saying for the reason of what they're fighting for, like West Ham were fighting for something. I don't think the West Ham. I think if we'd beat West Ham and gone to Fulham, I know the points thing would have been different, but I just think that maybe we wouldn't have had the fire at the Fulham game that we're probably going to have now because of the West Ham result. I think that we all want a reaction from it as fans. And I think the players will be exactly the same. They want a reaction from it. Fulham are a beatable side, as half the Premier League have told you. Away from home,
we've beaten this season ourselves.
I was going to say, away from home this season, we seem to be having more success than usual. So why not get a win? I'd take a draw now.
Yeah, of course. You draw, you're safe. So yeah, I'd take a draw. I think we can beat them. We've proven already we've beaten them this season, and that was B team. All right, it was their B team as well. I respect that. But still, they are beatable. We can beat them. Play like we did against Wolves, which I think we are more likely to play like than we did against West Ham, because West Ham have the players to hurt you. Fulham and Wolves don't. All right. Some people argue there's certain players there that can. Of course, every team's got them, but not to the extent that West Ham have got them. So I think we'll play high up the pitch. I think it'll just be a carbon copy of the Wolves game in terms of the performance and the tactics. I don't think we'll win 4-0. Everything, like you said earlier, everything just seemed to fall for us that game. But I do think we'll go there, and I think we can win 2-0, 2-1, something like that. They are a beatable side, and I don't see anything wrong with saying that.
Yeah, it'd be good for us to be one of the teams that sends somebody down. We don't often get to be that team in this position. So let's see it. Hopefully we can enjoy it and sign the season off a bit.
Yeah, well, obviously we'll need to win, and Newcastle will need to win because they've still got 4 games left, so they could catch us. And I don't know when Newcastle play this week. Oh, mind you, it'll be probably before us because we're playing Monday night again, which is a pain in the arse. But what's your prediction then?
Even though I said I'd take a draw, I still have optimism that we should be able to get a result. So I'll go for... I think we'll keep them out. I think 1-0, maybe 2-0, like you're saying. But I think if we turn up, 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah, if we turn up, I think we can beat them. I think the main problem with Burnley this season is you never know which Burnley is going to turn up. Sometimes... But someone put a tweet up, and I agree with it. If we try and play like, I think Burnley are trying to sort of like reinvent, or Dash is trying to reinvent sort of like the way that he or us play football. Like if you look at the Wolves game, the Everton game, the Liverpool game, the Palace game, it's all about high intensity passing. Maybe not so much the Liverpool game, but the other 3, it's all about high intensity passing, high up the pitch, quick transitions, as Dash calls them, getting it from the defence to the attack, not necessarily a long ball, but through the midfield. And I feel like when we play like that, we play really, really well. However, there's some games where we are forced onto the back foot a bit because the opposition is better than us, like in the case of the West Ham game and the Man United game recently. And I feel like then we go onto the back foot, we revert to the long ball tactics and humping it upfield to Woody. And I feel like then we don't play as well. But again, I just think it's because some teams are just better than us. So you have to have a plan B. And I think the plan A is front foot, high intensity, high press, quick transitions. Plan B is sit back, defend, because it worked for us, in the last few seasons. Get it up to Woody. But But I just think that sometimes it don't work out like that because we're playing against a decent side in the West Ham case. But I think with the Fulham game, we'll go to the Fulham game and we'll try and play this new brand of high intensity, high press, sort of like football. So I think that'll work out for us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, mate. I think that they are a similar side to Wolves in the way that they want to play football. And sometimes that just plays into teams like our hands because we can physically bully them out of the way.
Yep, happy days. Some breaking news from Chris Borden. Obviously, Daishi said, no, I don't have a jingle. Daishi said in the post-match press conference this week that Chris Wood picked up a knock. That's why he was taken off. Chris Borden has just tweeted, informed Burnley striker Chris Wood expected to shake off a knock in time to face Fulham, which is fantastic news. So there you go, 8-0. Chris Wood will get all 8. There you go. He's on absolute fire. One thing I want to talk about, because we don't have a fan reaction this week. Again, unfortunately, only one was sent. We don't want to just slide the one in, do we? So it is something we're probably going to look at dropping, I think, next season. But if you want to carry on with the fan reactions this season, you can. But yeah, it's something we'll probably drop next season. We're just not getting enough people doing it. Yeah, we're just going to drop it. But anyway, one thing I do want to talk about is not going back to the West Ham game here, but going back to a stat after the West Ham game. We haven't won at home now since January. I think we haven't won at home in 8 games. That's just not that's going back to something you said earlier. We're doing things this season that we don't normally do. We're winning away from home, but yeah, we're having a bad performance at home. And I think it's obvious, isn't it? We're just missing the fans. We're missing the Turf Moor atmosphere. I think that's all it is. But people will say, oh, imagine where we could be if, the fans were in. But the counter argument to that is we probably wouldn't have won at the Emirates in Anfield because it'd be similar, or even potentially Molineux and Selhurst Park.
Yeah, good point.
But we wouldn't have gone 8 games without a win, and we wouldn't have not beaten Brighton at home. We wouldn't have not beaten 10-man West Brom at home. We wouldn't have not beaten Fulham. So it's all sort of like swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But I think we're missing the fans massively. I think that's what that proves to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, for all arguments that the players and Dash even can say, like, you remember when Vidra come on and we cheered and he's like, bloody hell, you think he scored 30 goals, the way that Burnley fans reacted to that. Well, obviously, mate.
Big comment, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I said, obviously, we are probably more impactful than you give us credit for, and we probably know a little bit. Not saying we know more than Dash, because we certainly don't, but sometimes we get things right, and wanting to see Vidra play is the right decision at the minute.
Yeah, well, him and Woody look fantastic up front. Yeah. And I don't, like I said, I don't want to go into criticising Jay and Barnes. They've both had knocks recently, so they're probably both a little bit out of fitness. But they just looked miles off it when they came on compared to what we've seen from Wood and Vids recently. And so I think them two are easily the first two not the first ones, but the first 2 strikers that we're all going to pick. But my worry is maybe Vids could be leaving in the summer. You would think that now he's had a run in the team that he might not want to, but it's just been some of the comments recently. So fingers crossed we don't see that. But yeah, so I like I said earlier, I think we're missing the fans. So it'd be good to get us back on sooner rather than later.
Agreed. Well, the rumour is we're going to get them on for the last home game at Liverpool.
Yeah, the Liverpool game. But what they need to do is they need to pick a time when that Liverpool game is going to be. I need to make sure I am off work. It's probably going to be the last. Why?
Because do you remember when they did the thing, the test at League Cup? They said like over 70s aren't allowed, under 16s aren't allowed, and disabled and vulnerable aren't allowed.
Have you had the jab yet?
Yeah, well, I only had one though.
Surely I've not even had one. Surely you're more likely than me to get on, to be fair.
Yeah, I know, but it's just easier to categorise, isn't it, for them?
True. Yeah, true. Well, fingers crossed we can get on. But yeah, they need to tell us when that, because I missed the West Ham game because they changed it late. I hate it when they do this. As I've said a million times, I send in my dates and say I can work on these dates. If I'm given enough time, I say don't want to work that day. I don't tell them because Burnley are at home or whatever. I just say I don't want to work that day. So when they keep changing these games later on, it's an absolute pain in the arse. So they need to get this Liverpool game onto a fixed date as soon as possible, because I don't think they have at the minute. I think you're on your phone, so quickly check. But I'm pretty certain they haven't. It all tends to be the last game of the season, though, doesn't it? It will all be on the same day. So maybe I can work it out off other teams' last day of the season if they've all been given a time and a day. But I basically need to tell Willie Mill I'm unavailable so I can get on the turf and do a vlog. Do a vlog of me going to the turf.
Are you a vlogger now?
No, I'm not going to do one of them sort of like busy sort of like vlogs that he used to do. I can't do that. I'm not filming myself on game. Not for me, that. But I'll do like, hey, going to turf.
What did you come out with?
Yeah, I know. I'd end up being a fate halfway through it as well, to be fair.
Fate.
And have you found any dates? Found any dates for Liverpool?
Wednesday the 19th, because it's not technically the last game of the season; it's the second to last, isn't it? Because Sheffield's the last.
Oh right. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna get screwed over then.
Well, it's Wednesday, before the Sunday, so I can't see him moving it.
It's already on. Right. Okay.
Wednesday, the 7:45.
Right. They've moved that one on the Leeds one recently, haven't they? That's why. Right. Sweet. Wednesday. What date?
Christ, on the back.
Yeah, we will do this live on air. Wednesday, the 19th of May. Oh no, I've already sent that week off.
Bell end.
That's not my fault, is it? Hopefully they don't give me a fucking shift then that day. I'll be fuming. I might ring in sick, then do a vlog, and they're like, Joe, you sacked. Never mind. Another thing I want to discuss, because there's not been too much news coming out of the club this week. We've done the West Ham game, we've done the Fulham game, so now I'm just trying to get the minutes up so it's not a ridiculously short podcast. The club have announced that they're going to be honouring the 100-year heroes in a hospitality upgrade. Now, from the artist impression, it looks nice. It's got the herringbone flooring that I've got in my kitchen, which I stand by. It's absolutely class. Burnley Football Club is on the 100th anniversary of the club first becoming champions of England as part of a major refurbishment of hospitality facilities at Turf Moor. As part of the club's vision to improve facilities for supporters and partners at Turf Moor, the corporate area in the James Hargreaves stand is currently undergoing a major uplift in time for the start of the 2021-22 season, including a spacious new open plan longside lounge overlooking the pitch through to 8 stylish and intimate private super boxes. So they're already doing it. I didn't even know that. They're already doing it. And honestly, go on.
Went to Timber Yard yesterday to get some wood.
Oh, yeah.
And bloke said to me, "Oh, hey, like, I don't know if he recognised me or what, but he was like, oh, yeah, how do you reckon we'll stay up?" And having a bit of a chat. Anyway, he has a seat at the back row, James Hargreaves, halfway line, and he's been ousted because they're taking the first 3 rows, the back 3 rows away from him. So there's that 100 and odd people been shifted on this halfway line that are all coming together to have a petition to sit, because they've not been given a seat yet. They've just been told that they're moving them. And they're all going mad about it. They've been there for years. Yeah,
I'd be pretty... Yeah, well, I'd be annoyed, definitely. I'd be annoyed. It depends where they put them. If they just moved everyone in the James Hargreaves stand forward a row or worked it out like that, then you'd still be at the back, so I wouldn't be as bothered. But I think then obviously to do that, you've got to move around probably about 600 to 1,000 people, so they're not going to do that, are they? So they'll end up shoving him at Bob Law, and if they did that, yeah, I'd be absolutely livid.
I'd be gutted for him, because if that were me, like you said, that were me, that even everybody's done it. 6,500 people replied that they want to keep the seats within that first week or two, because that's how important it is to people, you know. And to shift them, I'd be fucking pissed off. The only way they're gonna, I don't know, because if you give them a crap seat, you're gonna have to say, I tell you what, you can have box twice a year, twice for this season, you know, like an experience, because you're gonna have to compensate them somehow, because it's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah, if they shifted them off to like a completely different area of the ground, like even the cricket field, I know a lot of people love it, but it might not be for the people that are sat there. They might prefer sitting on the side. That's why they're there. So yeah, I agree with that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But the plans look good. They look decent enough. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. It looks nice. Yeah. I think I didn't have an issue with the hospitality at the Turf. To be fair, every time I've gone, I've enjoyed it. But it's good to see that it's getting a facelift.
It needs updoing. Yeah, it needed updoing.
Yeah, it's one of them. Like you go in and you don't think, oh, it's minging, but then when you look at it and you think, yeah, it probably could have done with a facelift.
And fucking blinds. I hope they get rid of them blinds.
Surely they'll get rid of them blinds. And you know what? I hope they get rid of, because I sit in the family stand, because I'm a family man, obviously. And when the sun's on the James Hargreaves, and they open the doors, them glass doors, it blinds me every time. It goes across me like, what's that? And I didn't know what it were for the first few years, and I wondered for years what it were, but it's just some muppet opening a door and the sun bouncing on my face. So I hope they get rid of them glass doors, or at least put something on it to stop it like bouncing off it like that.
That's fucking brilliant. They will never do that.
No, I hope they do, but yeah, you're right. It did get a bit of criticism off some, obviously, because of the Burnley fans, in terms of pricing. I think it's like 45 grand a year, and it's a commitment of 5 years. And everyone's like, which local company's going to pay this? Absolutely disgrace. There's a lot of local companies that will pay a lot of money for that. But I think the international market is also what these people are trying to tap into. And I think that's where people sort of like, they have the different sort of mentality to like fans of other clubs. And we've discussed this many a time. how certain things can, like local club for local people and stuff. As much as I want to keep that local aspect of it, of course I do. There need to be parts where we can now tap into the international market or the national market. And I think that is what we are trying to do. I don't think that some local companies will still go into it. Of course they will, because there's some big local companies that'll be able to afford it. Of course they will. Of course, TurfCast and well, Simon Townley Air might be able to afford it. I don't know. I'm not seeing the books, but TurfCast definitely can't. But yeah, I think like we've gone many times that we want to market the club to a wider audience. I think this isn't anywhere near what we were thinking, but I think it's a good step in doing something like that in terms of getting income off international markets.
I think it's harsh. It's almost sort of like a bitter taste to some of these people and the fans and the people that have had corporate boxes in there for, I know someone who's had it in there for 10 years that I can think of, possibly had it a lot longer. They're going to get told off, because I heard this from, I won't say the name, but somebody told me that he's been getting phone calls saying like, what's going on here? They're doubling the price. And it's out of his hands and stuff like that. And then obviously you've seen the call that's happening. The people are being told, right, well, we're taking it in a new direction. We want somebody else to lead the ship in the commercial department and the like. It is going to piss some people off, but mate, build it and they'll come is the old phrase. If you put any price on it, they'll find someone it appeals to. Yeah,
of course. And you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette and stuff. So if it annoys, it's going to, no matter what you do, it's going to annoy a few people. If we stayed, like the phrase that people always use about Burnley Football Club is Premier League on the pitch, non-league off it. This is a step of getting out of that mindset and getting out of people calling us that, and people are criticising it. So, like you say, it'll look better. It'll be better for the football club. Hopefully, the international people will come, and I still think a lot of, like I say, some Burnley companies will do it as well, to be fair. So it'll have the nice mix, hopefully, of international markets and, international businessmen, should I say, or whatever, and locals as well. So, it's not something I obviously know that much about, because I've never had a box. I've been in some, but I've never had one. I think me and you looked at it once, didn't we? And obviously, like a couple of years ago, but even then it were too much. But at 45 grand a year, I think, that's far too much. So obviously, them dreams are gone. But it is what it is. Like, I've got no real issues with it, and I think it looks nice and it'll look good on the club.
Yeah, no, it's a difficult one. I see both sides of the argument, but I want to see this club go further. And
exactly.
You need
that's part of it. That. Yeah, of course it is. Well, I think that's going to be pretty much it then for this week's podcast, unless there's anything you want to add, Simon.
No, Player of the Season nominations are out, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm going to do like a podcast later on where we can sort of like discuss sort of like them sort of things. Maybe even choose our own and then go from there. Maybe get a few more people involved, or a few of the Patreons involved. And that reminds me, if you haven't already, we finally have a Patreon account. You can sign up and show your support to TurfCast at patreon.com/TurfCast, or you can still send us Facebook stars if you're watching now on the stream on Friday. You can still send us Facebook stars. That is still a nice way of showing support. And just, I want to give another quick shout out to Mr. X Sport. If you want one of the shirts that we've opened today and one of the boxes that we've got, there you go, where you get a nice shirt. I got Macedonian League One side. Macedonian First Football League side. I got Simon got a Sevilla shirt. So you can get that, and if you want to get one, head to mysterysport.com to grab the deal and just use the code TurfCast to get 10% off. And of course, just like we say every single week, please head to Pitch Sports, download the app, and then you can interact with us and answer our fan time question every single week. That's it from me. That's it from Simon. We will see you for the watch along probably on Monday.